hosted by E2G presents Black Girls in Web3 podcast, hosted by Wanda SUERO, also known as Salty Coffee, Dazzle Daniels, also known as Dazzle D, and myself, Elruby Thomas, known as Miss Ruby, Crypto Queen of Harlem, y'all. Tune in weekly as we strive to educate and elevate our community's financial literacy. We bring you professional and expert speakers, share insights from our personal wealth journeys, and introduce workshops and resources to empower you. Join us every Friday at 7 p.m. Eastern on youtube.com at P2G Networks TV for an hour of Black Girl Power, where we're shaping the future of finance in Web3. Peace and see you there.
Hello. How's everyone doing today? It is Friday, August 9th, 2024, and it is rainy, cloudy, humid, and hot in New York. We are here with Miss Ruby, the CEO and founder of P2G Networks. We got Dazzle D from Royal. Hello, Dazzle.
Blessings. Peace, everybody.
What's going on? How y'all doing? How was your week this week? We have a special guest tonight. Her name is Omena, or Omena, if you are in the language of the Romance, Spanish language. How was your week, Daz?
It's been pretty good.
That's it, just pretty good?
Yeah, pretty good.
You're hilarious. Anything coming up, Daz, this week that we should know about?
Not this week, but on the 17th, we have, of course, the enhanced elevated experience. And then on the 15th, we have our tax deed sales course started up. So we have an 8-week tax deed sales course that'll be starting on August 15th.
August 15th?
Yep.
And how do they sign up? They just go to your P2G Networks site?
Yep.
And of course, we have the introduction to Canva, to building your brand. That's every Monday at 7 p.m. And if you want to sign up for that, the introduction is free. And the reason why it's free is because it is an introduction, and it helps you obtain the information that you need for the courses and the sessions when you're ready to take the course, the actual course. But introduction to Canva with myself as the host of that course. And don't forget, every Friday, Black Girls in Web3 at 7 p.m. right here on YouTube. And you can do the replay whenever you want. The handle is P2G Networks TV. Ms. Ruby, can you, or Dazzle, can you tell us who's going to be on tonight?
So we have.
I was just gonna say hi.
Oh. All right, so we have Omena come in. She's from Om Wellness, and she does Reiki, and she also has a course called Eating for Supreme Wellness. So really on how what we eat affects our emotional state and our not only our physical health but our emotional health, and it's like type of cravings or what our that we have based on the mood or the state that we're in. So I took her course probably about a year or so ago, and it gave me a lot of insight. Like, I have a thing for chips, and I didn't know that's like it's a comfort thing. So when you need like a little comfort, that's why I'll crave chips or whatnot. So just learning different things like that and how it connects to your emotions to be able to go within and actually address it. So she's pretty amazing. Also, to be able to give some tips as far as eating, for your blood type. because I was vegan for 5 years, but she was the one who actually told me that I need to incorporate at least some seafood, fish into that because of my blood type. So yeah, I'm pretty excited to have her on because health is wealth, right?
Exactly. I'm glad that you mentioned
You
the
got
blood
that
type
right.
thing. Yeah, I'm glad that Dee mentioned the or Dazzle Dee mentioned the blood type, because I keep hearing over and over again in conversations with other people of how important it is for one to know their blood type. I do remember that I used to donate blood, and it used to be in that little card, but now I'm looking at my chart and I can't find it anywhere. And I sent an email to my physician to ask him again, but I haven't been able to get the results for that. So I'm looking forward to getting a little bit more information. And that will probably be one of my questions to Omena tonight, because I'm very curious now to see why we are not given that information any longer like we used to be given that information. Do we know if it's in our health records at all, Miss Ruby? Do you know if our blood type is on our birth certificate or on our health card?
No, it's not found on your, it would be found on your certificate of live birth. It may find, you might find it there, but it's always recommended, and good evening, everyone. It's always recommended that you can get that from your medical records. You can make, and you should make, a request of all of your medical records to be able to consolidate that record to yourself. And then come see us, because we're going to take that to the blockchain and lock your stuff down, so no one can make any kind of a digital you when they get gluten ready. All right, let's get going. But yeah, contact the page. I want you to go back and check out where you were born, where your records are, and request that type of information. And you can also get a new blood type. You can get blood type testing, even sent home. So check out, and we got Amazon now, y'all. They do everything. Blood
Wait, what do
testing is
you
not
mean there's a
up
new
there.
blood test type? There's more than A plus and O and all of that? Is that what you're saying? Or,
No, I'm talking about blood testing kits. There's new ways to get blood
okay.
tested.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm like, if there
Okay.
is, we definitely need to deal in.
Yeah. I'm starting to think like those monitors for like high blood pressure, sugar, the glucose monitors and stuff like that they give us. Sometimes I think they're off. I don't know what the formula is or how do they, but it's just kind of interesting that there's more of that for sale and it's out there, and the medication really doesn't work. And it's just, so I can't wait to meet Omena tonight, because I have a lot of questions, and I'm looking forward to getting some insight. I briefly looked at her Instagram and her YouTube and thought that she has a self-care Sunday, y'all. So, but it's totally
I wonder who else has one.
yeah, but my self-care Sunday is like from the Bronx. She's from BK. So, we
That
need
should be
people.
definitely an experience.
Yeah, and she's certified. So I'm looking forward to learning a lot from her. And my self-care Sunday is, something that I've done for years on my own. One of the things that I noticed about my mom is that when you clean your house from top to bottom, from corner to corner, and you just eliminate stuff and you're listening to music, and this is when your parents are telling you to do this. I don't know if you guys had to do this, but we had to do this every day. And then one of us had a certain section in the house to clean. But it's such a beautiful feeling. And, you have all Saturday night, all Sunday day, when you're told as a kid to clean the house and to contribute to the household. It's just a beautiful thing, and it's a healing process to me. So self-care Sunday is a thing that I do based on that traditional thing, cleaning the house. What
Now,
about you guys?
I will say this, like we were on the topic of like finding your blood type and stuff like that. What I've discovered, like you got to read the fine print, is that you have to send a request basically for them to destroy your samples, or they can do whatever they want, and you be in a a Henrietta Lacks situation. So unless you specify for them to destroy
Uh-huh.
the samples that you give, they can do whatever they want with them.
And thank you so much for bringing that up. So with that, I've been doing my homework, and guess what I found?
What you found?
Amazon. Amazon has a at-home blood type testing kit for $10. You can see, guys, I
$9.99.
realized something. $9.99 on Amazon. And it's so interesting. So many things have been made available. Science is no longer a institutional access only. We have been given access to almost all things that you can find in an institution. You know that you can get an oxygen machine, a ventilator in your home. You can
Yeah.
have a hyperbolic chamber in your home. But who is that? Who is it that is going to do that type of thing? How serious are we about our health that we would manage these things from home? I like the idea that if you can take a kid, because I'm going to share something with y'all. I am so guilty. My daughter says I'm a bad mom. She said that to me when she turned 18. She asked, Mom, what kind of mother are you? You don't even know my blood type. I said, girl, I was too damn busy trying to have you. I was too busy going. I said, when you have your first child, you tell me what you know about that baby. Because,
That's
honey, I was
crazy.
too busy. I was too busy trying to have a baby after being on bed rest for 6 months to have it safely. Then, being high risk the whole time, I had a hard pregnancy. So all of this blood type and, she was like, you don't know this and what time was I born? I said, there's paperwork for that. Go and get it. You got full access. Go get it. You want it? Go get it.
It's hard enough we can't remember our own time. Birthday.
Seriously, because think about it. 6 weeks later, where was I? Matter of fact, I'm sorry, it wasn't a 6-week period. Thank God I did, I got extra because I got almost 2 months to recuperate. So for 2 months, because I was high risk and needed some support, I got to stay home and pretty much be with my baby and take care of this little human being while healing my body.
Mm-hmm.
Now, okay, I had to go right back to work. I had to be at work and having my daughter picked up from whoever was caring for her because I wasn't a single parent. I had a husband who worked. And he worked out state. He worked in another part of the state, an hour and a half away. So when I talk to my daughter about these things, I'm telling her nowadays the world is different. You can think about those things and now you can act on them. Go to Amazon. You got Google.
So I'm looking.
I
I'm
didn't
looking
have
real
Google.
quick, and they have the it's a 5 test pack. Know your blood type, accurate, instant. So you actually don't have to send it anywhere else. You actually get it right there and then, right? The one that I'm looking at.
It's in home for that purpose from beginning to end. From the results are
Okay.
gotten in your home. You will get, and you don't have that big issue with contamination. You don't have the problem with when you send things away from your home or trusting the source. Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay.
Or even what you said, sending your samples to an unknown.
Having your samples
intellectual
destroyed.
property.
Make sure that you check the box.
Destroy them yourself. Right.
Absolutely.
And
I'm gonna look into
you
that.
are so right. I kept thinking about that too. The Henrietta Lacks. That's one of the reasons. Speaking of blood, I want to share with you. I don't know if you guys have noticed in your communities. Have any of those? They're now. You know how you do blood? They do blood donation centers.
Mm-hmm.
There's plasma location centers, plasma donation centers popping up in my community like crazy. And I don't think, and they weren't there previous to COVID, just to let you know. Post-COVID, there was no plasma centers where you literally get almost $300-400 per donation. Not like donating blood.
Right.
You're getting $300-400 for the blood making part of your blood. This is what I learned from a good friend of ours and one of our students. And in order for him to do that, he had to travel from the Bronx out to Queens because they weren't taking samples in low income areas. Why do you think that might be after 2020? What do you think that might come? Why do you think that might be the case in lower income areas? If y'all are noticing that.
They're not aware that it's valuable jewels, one, because they can use it for so many things. I honestly believe that we're just not educated on what it's needed for, right? And how to protect ourselves. I mean, we already know that in most low-income communities, no one is aware that they're not their individual self. Like, we're part of the corporation. That's a different topic. But if you have a social security number and you have a birth certificate from whatever state you're from, your little baby footprints is, I don't know.
Yeah.
The signature.
You're a member.
That
you are a member.
You're a member.
You are a member.
That was a corporation. So
right.
They can do whatever they want to do.
Limited? Isn't that limited though? Isn't it limited though? Because I mean, they have limited information. They made those numbers up. They don't know anything about the you today. So
Exactly.
how do they, which is your local government, learn about you? What do you have to do so that they learn about the you today? Why do we ask? I ask those questions all the time. People go, "Oh my goodness, you're always thinking conspiracy." They already know. They wouldn't already know if they did. They wouldn't ask a question, right? You wouldn't have to fill out forms and submit them if they already knew. They would just tax you, or they would just assume your situation, which is why you have to keep turning in current documentation. What is happening though because of data? Go ahead.
Yeah. You know what? When we talk about data and when we talk about those things, you know what it reminds me of all the time? The water issue in Flint, Michigan, where they actually came about, where they actually had to. The nurses were told, better put another number on there.
A what?
And they had to finagle the numbers to show something different. And that came out later on, that those people that were taking that data of the level of the lead poisoning in the water, they were finagling the numbers. I mean, that's what hurts me, that 10 decades later, we're going to learn that the actual data that was taken for anything related to the state or the government, it cannot be.
Oh my goodness.
Absolutely. Hey, Yosef, what's going on? Welcome. But that did happen.
Y'all, welcome. Good evening, everybody. And we have a brother, Yusuf El Bay here. How you doing, El Bay? How you doing? And you're right, baby. They don't know about it, about status correction, or how important it really is. Not for later, not for one day, but for now. The knowledge of it alone changes your world. Yep. And this is, like I said, P2G ain't no joke. We do the introduction and lay the base down every Saturday night. We're doing this together. I'm not trying to be your leader or what have you. We have mad resources into this. People that we follow, people that we're learning from, groups that we're a part of, and we connect you to the base information. Because the fact of the matter is you just don't know what you don't know. And you can't do better till you do. But you got to be the kind of person seeking that what you don't know to answer those questions.
Correct.
Child, I know. And Wanda, I apologize. Baby girl, I apologize because I'm in and out here. I'm trying to hold on to this. Y'all, we are having retrograde like a mug. Okay. Retrograde like a mug. And that's what I'm talking about. We here to listen to brothers that are doing their thing. That's all. We got this brother in the space. That's what I'm talking about. So let me just let y'all know. If you don't think health and wealth are one in the same, I don't know what to tell you. We can't have these things independently. Good luck with that. If you're not trying to understand what's going on inside, you darn sure won't get what's going on outside. Because I know until I started balancing out my insides, my brain could not function with what I was being introduced to. And it seems like, we got sisters out here that are willing to walk you through some basics. You really don't catch on with yourself. And Dee said it herself. She was like, yo, I took her course and some things changed for me. Seriously. Life shifted.
And you would think as thin as Daz is, you're like, girl, you ain't got nothing to worry about. The skinny people got much more to worry about than us little, you know, curvy ones.
Look, don't let the size fool you. Don't make. I don't want to have to run down the block.
That's what I'm saying.
I don't want to have to run down the block.
That's what I'm saying. Curvy people could be way healthier than the skinny dippers, but for sure. I'm gonna look into the kit. If you have any recommendations, please feel free to let us know, Ms. Ruby, on your
Once
page.
I find a good one, I will send you one.
Yes.
Once I find the good one, I'm gonna send you one. I'm gonna go look them up.
Thank
With
you,
my referral
Joseph.
number, right, D? What's my referral number?
I know.
Right,
Say
D?
that, because don't forget to put your link on it.
Child, we don't make no referrals without our referral number, so we can get paid from these organizations doing them things. They get paid. We should too.
Put them on the notification on right below here on the information for this YouTube channel, and let the people know where to go. But other than that, I wish I would have known the things that I know today about my birth with my two daughters, and that information and those, the placenta and all of that. I wish I would have known then what I know now. I don't know.
Well, let's just pray there ain't another you or another your children walking around on this planet, because you know what they can make with those now.
Well, if you look at my sisters with all of our 15 siblings that we have, plus from my father's side, everybody knows someone that looks like me. Every time I bump into somebody, like, you look familiar. Mm-hmm, I'm sure. But it wasn't the government, probably my father.
That could just be, you know what it could be, right? I got several siblings and I know somebody's related. I said, Daddy he done hit a couple of countries. I could tell. He done been to Germany, y'all. My father was in the military. He drives.
There you go. Did you hear about the man with the 1,000 babies? Horrible.
Whew. Talk about Johnny Appleseed. Don't start with me now. Don't stop.
1,000 babies.
Kids. God bless that man.
And they lost count. But see, that's what I'm talking about. They privatized those fraternal, whatever you call those places where they store. There's a bank, a sperm bank. They're supposed to be monitored and enforced, where someone is not having all these kids. But here we are today with a whole documentary.
So one of the things that they can do, and this is why, Yusuf, thank you so much for the compliment. We see things that people don't think about. That whole situation could be handled right in the blockchain. That man is given DNA. It actually has an identity. It's like a thumbprint. If a thumbprint goes into the system, it can literally be sussed out by the system to see it being seen as a duplicate. We're not talking about dumb computers. We're talking about smart computers. We're even talking about AI, which is set up to think for you, okay?
Yep.
To put things in rational form. So that makes no sense because AI has been around a long time. He basically got around the system. He knew somebody. He knew a lot of somebody. You know what I'm saying? I tell y'all, the goal of this
And
is to teach people to open up themselves to a new world. More than one way to get there. I don't skin cats, baby. That's not my business.
and people desperate too to have children will go, try everything that's affordable to them. But
I love it. Yusuf was talking about how he didn't let his child get any shots. He started homeschooling her when she started 5th grade. I homeschooled my children up till about the 2nd grade, my oldest, and they didn't have a television for about the same 2.5 years. See, you got to learn that everything you need has to be the foundation. From everything that you get in the world has to start with home. We keep sending these kids out in the world, and our generations now send our children out in the world to get something we think we don't have to offer them.
right.
And we are the ones once we get that foundation, make sure you give it to your babies because that's the key to generational wealth.
Yep.
You
And we
know.
should not and we can't complain if the educational
Yeah,
system doesn't function properly
yeah,
for us. We cannot
yeah.
complain because that's on purpose for
Mm-hmm,
you not to learn
mm-hmm.
anything.
Yeah.
So congratulations, Yusef or Yosef El Baby.
Yeah. Yusef, oh
Congratulations on
baby.
that. That's amazing.
Respect.
And we need to
Yeah,
highlight those men too. Those people who take the time to do their best to help their community, starting from home.
exactly. I mean, these records that we're talking about having, and I hate to say it, this gentleman literally you can actually create an entire physical record. And this is what I was saying about the technology we have available to us, the medical tech, that med tech, the fintech, all of this can be now self-maintained. You
Right.
can maintain finances through fintech, which is part of the blockchain technology. You don't need to go through banks. There's people out here that don't even have a bank and haven't had one since Bitcoin came about. And they're doing just fine. People bought themselves out of their jobs because they figured out how the blockchain pays them to do something that is not chasing a dollar. And the fact is, they were chasing their own demise when they did. Crazy. That is what we do when we teach people about options, putting options on the board. That's what Web3 is about. People tend to not see, a second. People tend to not know, they don't know about
Yeah.
this whole chain thing, but you have to learn because it's not hidden and they're telling you about it. And
So we're gonna learn a little bit more from Omena because she is in the room.
yeah,
So welcome our
I
guest.
hope it is.
Let's welcome her with open hands, and let's introduce her, Daz. And for those of you who have any questions, feel free to put them in the comments.
Give me one moment, gotta get her in.
Woohoo!
Daz, you want to let your guests know that she has to keep coming in. She has to hit the button so she can pop into the room with her video and her microphone on. Yeah, because she's not showing up. Y'all ready? Come on, let's go, let's go. Because I can't wait. I got so much coming. We're gonna learn so much about it. Now, Yusuf, you said you're trying to learn more about Web3 and how you can integrate AI and DAOs. Why aren't you coming to class? We have a whole website. Go to p2gnetworks.com. We have all kinds of classes, partnerships. We are multiple learning platforms under one network. You guys are welcome. Come on out. We got a lot of free classes. We do consultations. A lot of people are out here helping each other. That's what's happening. That's the whole purpose of building a network.
I love it.
You know, look, I didn't want to go in it. I knew I couldn't get this when I started this process, and we were doing what's called the 800s Club, trying to build, finances. I was out there trying to find help, find support, find my tribe. And the only way to find your tribe is if you reach out, because somebody's going to reach back. Anytime you reach out, you step out in the crowd, somebody gonna look up and their head gonna pop up. And then the next one head is gonna pop up. And the next one's head is gonna pop up. And guess what we got now? We got a community. We have a network. We got resources. And like I said, next week's guest, I can't wait. I'm not announcing now because I can't wait to where you at? Where you at?
And the important thing also is that even if you're not sure of the information now, it's okay, because whenever we'll have the conversations within the groups, always come to the introductory courses, always come into wherever we're at on YouTube, Facebook, in-person live events, because the conversation, you can get so much out of a conversation. And
I've been told I talk too much. It'd be like, Miss Ruby, you giving it away. You giving it away. I'm like, look, that if I don't, I can't get more. And believe me, the reason I got what I got is because I keep giving forward.
Right.
Every time I get some, I help somebody else get forward, move. And it just keeps going. Now I see her. There we go, baby. Okay. Here she comes.
What?
Girl. Hi.
Let me try to switch over. Hi, everyone. The thing is I've been having such issues trying to switch in because StreamYard has me signing in through some type of bullshit fucking Facebook or YouTube.
We're alive. Hi, baby.
Hello. Real life though. Real life. Just because I'm holistic don't mean I don't give a mother effort.
Yeah.
I keep it a little real. Oh my gosh. Okay, y'all. Let me troubleshooting. We are in a Mercury retrograde. And so that's what's happening. Right? We're in a Mercury retrograde. And I get it, right? Like things are happening. So let's go on ahead and try to sign in to the show again. And I'm going to thank you everyone for your patience. I am going to sign in with YouTube, and hopefully it will allow me to sign in on YouTube.
Oh, come on, retrograde, cut it out. Look, I'm telling you, I already love her. That's what's up. I'm adopting her. It's so funny because somebody said to me the other day on the show, Miss Ruby, you cussed. I was like, I'm 50. I think I have the right. I get frustrated and sometimes I run out of words because things don't make sense. Let's go, baby girl. Let's go.
Hello. Okay.
Hey,
okay, everyone.
There she goes.
Hi. Hi there.
Hello, lovey. I love it.
Oh, Lord.
Y'all gonna give us some love. That's right. Go give us some love. Come on, y'all.
Please take them out the oven. Wash your hands. Take tacos out the oven because it's probably
burning. Somebody, mama.
His pocket.
That's right. The mama. That's what I'm talking about.
Okay. Hi, everyone. Woohoo! Let me sit my ass down. That's what they say. Sit your ass down. Let me sit myself down and get comfortable because I'm here with my people.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hello, lovey. How you doing?
Ooh, I feel good. I'm great. This was a full day today. I'm fasting. I'm on a liquid fast. And this is the 5th day of the fast. And so I was like, my body was like, whoop, blood sugar levels dipped. Body, everything. Head was like, I was shaking, trembles. And I said, okay, I understand I'm detoxing, right? So it took me a minute to get out of the house, which is why I'm getting back in so late, because my son had a doctor's appointment and then I had to run some errands. Anywho,
Be
hello.
glad to see you. Ah, we've been talking about you, girl. We've been talking about your business.
Oh, my business that is going through some transformations, but good transformations. So the site is down because I had an issue. I was telling Daz earlier, I had an issue with GoDaddy. They tried to auction my domain, y'all. I said, that's my intellectual property. You won't be auctioning anything, okay? Like, let's pull it together, please. Um, but it's okay. Somebody,
Go
somebody,
ahead. That's
yeah,
right.
somebody, yeah, somebody tapped into my site. Somebody got into my website or did whatever they did, or got into the site of GoDaddy and did some craziness. Because the guy was like, "This is weird. Like, maybe you were partially hacked." Because they don't my history. They have no history of anything with my domain, which is crazy because I've had it for 5 years now. So yeah,
Yeah, that's a hack.
yeah. Not today, Satan. That's what they say. Not today.
There you go.
So hi, ladies. Hey, Salty. Looking good over there. What's up, Miss Ruby in the house? Hello, y'all. Welcome, everyone.
Welcome.
You.
Hey, good girl.
Is my
How would
line
you
all
like to
right?
be? Yes. How would you like to be called? First of all,
Om. You
Omena.
can call me Om
Om.
or the Holistic
Okay.
Alchemist. That's fine. But Om is usually what I go by.
Okay. Thank you. And welcome to the Black Girls in Web 3.0. We were talking a little bit about certain things, and I was like, man, I have a lot of questions because I saw that you also have a self-care Sunday on your Instagram, and I also have a self-care Sunday. My mine's a little different, a little unprofessional, but I talk about the things that I'm going through. Give us a little bit of what your self-care Sundays looks like. What do you give to the people?
Awesome. So Self-Care Sunday actually started out with me, right? Like talking and sort of letting my children know that every Sunday, mommy is going to partake in an activity that makes me feel good, that makes me happy, that brings joy to me. And so that means I won't have you, I won't be around you all. That also means that you guys can't interrupt me if I am home, if I happen to be home on my self-care Sunday, you know. And so it really started out with me realizing as a wellness practitioner and a holistic nutritionist that mentally, like I have to be able to like separate and detach from the world. And Sundays were just sort of this quiet day. It's the it starts the week, but to me, I see it as the day before the week really starts, and you're going to school and work and all these things. So it started out with me giving and pouring into me, and then I started these like online virtual workshops, because this was back in 2016, 2017. Actually, before then, it was like 2014 I started doing it for myself, and then like 2015 I introduced it to other women. So um it became this kind of like online virtual space, and then I had the first meetup of women, and then just so forth and so forth from there. And a lot of other things were happening at the same time, because I was also like running a kitchen. Like I had my own like food catering business, and then I was doing self-care Sundays. And all of it is to be done for women, because we are the lifeline to humanity. We really are. Um, we're the carriers. We need our men too, because they provide the other part of the DNA. And so we need our men. But usually what happens is we take the brink of so much responsibility that we are nurturers, but we forget to pour back into ourselves. So I work specifically with women, and specifically melanated women, because we're brilliant. Number one, we're brilliant, and we can sometimes be overachievers just because of systemic things that have happened in the world that tells us as a Black woman you can they try to compartmentalize us, which is why I'm loving us in the Web3 space, because we are killing it right now. I have a whole group I belong to, and they're called Fest, and they put the Fest in for feminine, for women. and they had a big like 2-day like festival. I think last year or 2 years ago in Georgia. It was amazing. So. But even when you're when you're in these spaces, and you all know you're doing what you're doing, we forget to eat. We forget to just take a a breath. You saw me today in here running. And I mean, granted, I'm not like eating, but my son was like, "Mommy, you know how long we've been out? Like, I'm hungry, lady." And I'm also trying to be on a spending fast. I mean, it ain't really working. So I'm trying not to like eat out. But today I saw this mother and her son, and her sign said, "I am hungry. Can you please help me and my son out with food or a job?" And I literally was like, "Come, let's go. It's a food truck. You choose where you want to eat." And I spent like $30 on that food truck for food for her and her son. Hold on to this. Whatever you don't eat now, eat later. Cause I don't know. And she was just so grateful and so thankful. And I was like, this is how we pay it forward. Self-Care Sunday, bringing it back. Like, that's what Self-Care Sunday is about. You're caring first for the self so that I can do things like that for other women, and then show other women like eating is a form of self-care. It's nourishing, right? And being able to take care of your children too. So, because you have to be well. But that was long and windy, but that is pretty much how that started.
Love it. Do you, and I have just one more question and then I'll let the other ladies ask you, because I was like, oh, I'm going to ask all the questions. I know you're from BK, right? From Brooklyn.
Yes.
Yay, Brooklyn.
Yes.
But do you think you had mentioned and said that you believe you started around a little bit before COVID with your Self-Care Sunday? However, I honestly believe if you were born and raised in Brooklyn, that it's what we saw in our parents. That
Yes.
every Saturday we had to clean up, we had to get up, and we had to clean the whole house. So I was just telling a little story about how I grew up, listening to music. We had the merengue going on, the salsa, the boleros from my grandfather while cleaning the house. And everybody had a little corner to do. Do you think it was the same thing for you?
The same, sis. The exact same. And thank you for bringing that, because guess what? I never even looked at that as a form of self-care, but it was a gathering of family members. And it was like, this is the quality time we're going to take together. And we're all going to contribute in this way, because when we keep the house clean, when the space is freed up in that way, we can now go forth and do things. Because what we would do is that we would get up. First of all, every morning, my father was like the Saturday specials, right? So like, on what was that? CBS, NBC, they had the Looney Tunes, and then they had the oh my God, I'm going so blank. Bill Cosby show.
I swear we're like twins. We must have been. Every time I speak to someone from Brooklyn, we're talking the same talk. We could not watch TV until the house was clean. So I would do it on Friday nights.
Yes, right. And so, but my dad would put that on, and then like you said, after everything was like done, we cleaning, and then sometimes we even went for walks. And I thank my father, who's no longer here, for providing in me and like inspiring in me this love of, because you know how you said Brooklyn, so you already know we travel, girl. We get on a train, we be out. We're explorative. My father made us that way, because he would take us for walks across the Brooklyn Bridge. We'd walk in the city. We'd go get. Back then, we was eating McDonald's. I don't know if they was cutting up people and babies and putting it in there. They could have been. I don't know, y'all. I guess I done probably had a few babies, but I thank God I done detoxed it out my body all these years. So, and we would go grab something, a little snack. I don't know if you remember the nut brand Brazzini. Remember Brazzini? So they had a store in the city. My father used to take us to the actual factory, their nut factory in the city. And we would just go, and we would all kinds of nuts in the stores, and other little dried fruits and chocolate covered this, that, and the other. So that's the things that we would do on the weekends. And you are right. That was a form of like woosah and a reprieve. And especially me growing up in the projects, it was just like, we needed to do that, like we needed to have. So I am grateful, even though the trauma I experienced, I am very grateful that I had at least two parents who wanted more for us, and always made sure we carried ourselves a particular kind of way. And even though because my mother was on some like taking us to A&S, We were going to A&S. We were going to not Walgreens. What is that called? Woolworth. Woolworth. We would be in Woolworth, A&S, Macy's before, because A&S downtown Brooklyn used to be A&S before it was Macy's. So, we'd be in Macy's at 34th Street, A&S in Brooklyn, Woolworths, all these stores. And my mom was like, hey, so, this is how you treat yourself after you don't work 5 days a week hard. We're going to go and, splurge a little on ourselves. So I thank you. Thank you for that. Yes, I relate.
Daz, Miss Ruby,
Shout out
what's
to
going
Five
on?
and Dime, y'all.
So earlier we were talking about, how what we eat is connected to our emotions, and I was sharing how I took your Eating for Supreme Wellness course. Can you touch a little bit on that?
Yes. So a lot of my holistic practitioners would tell you that dairy and meats and sugars are like the number one killer. But what a lot of them miss, and they may talk about it in bits and pieces, but the huge thing I always say, being healthy isn't hard. It's the unhealed habits of trauma that people are experiencing. So if you notice, there's something going on in our thoughts that says, hey, I just want this. I don't know. And we might be eating it on a subconscious level, but it's offering some type of comfort in the moment. And so everything that we are eating, one, has a chemical reaction in the body, biochemical reaction. It's going to do that. And then two, there is some type of like, we were just reminiscing. There's some type of like memory tied to that food. There's a cultural thing tied to the food. Sometimes it's epigenetical, like where, this was passed down from great grandma. We call our grandmother Big Ma back in, my mother's from the South. I was born and raised in New York City. But so there is an emotional connection to our food. If you are eating a lot of sugary foods, a lot of salty foods, crunchy foods, creamy foods. The creamy represents like on a subconscious level, you might be craving comfort. You might be feeling like, gosh, I done worked hard. I want to just come in here and kick my shoes off and put my feet up and just sit back and relax and let me eat this let me eat this cream cheese pasta over here. Let me have this like Danish, because the breads do this similar thing. The salty foods is like, okay, maybe you're thinking about something, you have something on your mind, and that crunch represents sort of like a frustration and anxiety. It can be fear around like what's not working in your life. And again, it's all subconscious, but salty is like, I gotta have this salt in my food because, right. And it's a thing of, and sometimes y'all, we melanated, we got salt our food. Like who's eating any type of food and they ain't got no flavor or seasoning, anything like that. So, but if you find yourself being a person that's like, I have to have a lot of salt and my food has to be salty, I would tell you to like look at like what's happening in terms of like the anxiety. Look at maybe, and sometimes it's a deficiency also of minerals. A lot of times people are mineral deficient and they will go for salt, right? The other piece of the crunchy part, like when you have to constantly be chewing and crunching, that represents like a lightweight frustration and anger. I need to crunch on something to, calm down whatever is happening on a biochemical level and an emotional level with you. And so some things are obviously case by case, to the individual, but every food has an emotional connection. But when you learn to, because I would just be like, what the hell am I eating right now? Like, am I eating self-neglect? Because girl, you know, you said a week ago you was gonna get this proposal in, and like, what is happening? Or you've been saying you want to take a bath. Why you ain't getting the bath? Or whatever it is. So, am I eating self-neglect? Am I eating worry? I have been stressed more so about worrying, and having certain things in place for me around my housing, my living, my all of it. It's like I'm back home in New York. It's expensive as hell. And so, I've been putting all the things together. Okay, let me get this paperwork, these documents, whatever it is they're asking for. I'm working. Okay, make sure my money and everything's good, investing. And so that's been like really, that's why I'm fasting. Because when I looked at what was happening in my body, like, sis, sis, the bread, you're not a bread eater like that. Like, why are you consuming so much bread? And I ain't gonna hold y'all. I do still work with dairy because I'm not. I know Dr. Bobby Price and all. My what's the other brother's name who I really love? He's really good. But anyway, I know they all gonna be like, oh my God, man, you have to. Yes, I do, and I do the white cheese. That con queso, the con queso cheese, the fried cheese, girl. Oh my God. I stopped eating that. I did stop eating that, but that was really hard to get out of my diet because I'm not Spanish, but apparently I have taste buds of like I love Spanish food in particular, right? Like Dominican, Puerto Rican, they cook with all the heavy oils and stuff. But I love that Mexican food. Look, you hear me in there talking about tacos. I just made tacos for the baby. But these things have an emotional connection. And so we can look at what am I eating today? And am I hydrated or dehydrated? Because if I'm hydrated, 9 times out of 10, I'm not going to be hungry. Like right now, I've been drinking, right? Granted, I'm going to the bathroom. I'm a little older. My bladder just can't hold that way, like it's releasing. But am I hydrated enough? And what has been happening in my day, in my week, in my month? And I think that's a great way to incorporate ways that you can eat healthy. So Eating for Supreme Wellness had a five step like I guess you can say diagram where we looked at first thing was a person's 0 to 7, right? First 7 years, first 80 years of your life. What kind of trauma were you holding? And I developed a method called holistic frequency technique where I used electromagnetic therapy to help them measure the thoughts. Like, okay, because you can lie, but your body and your energy won't lie. So let's take these dowsing rods, let's take these hangers and turn them into dowsing rods, and let's start reading the energy of what's happening in our bodies because it's going to pick it up, right? And then the next thing was, where do you live and what's the season? So let's look at the seasons. Let's look at your body type. Let's look at your blood type. And then what do you do? Your lifestyle. What do you do? Are you a entrepreneur? And are you a mompreneur, like where you have children and you have to run a business? We already know the business is a third child, right? Or the next child, however you have. It's like it's a baby within itself, and things are always changing, right? And if you are a solo LLCpreneur, maybe you might have one other person. It's still the bulk of it coming from you. You're managing and running it. So those are the 5 things that we looked at because some people don't look at blood type, but I do. I'm just like, all of it matters. Your blood is a biochemical map of who you are. When we talk about anemia, most people don't link anemia with vitamin C. That's why I said, yo, like my blood is low, my iron is low, like it's low, and I haven't also been getting in enough vitamin C, right? I'm just not getting in my minerals. I put a little pinch of Himalayan salt in my water with grade A maple syrup, and I squeeze some lemon and lime in there. But even still, right? Like it's just I was up super late, and that's another thing. The liver detoxes naturally in the body between 1 a.m. and 3 a.m. So if we're up, because I know me, I'm a nighty. So being up to 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, and then what's gonna happen is your body is gonna, in your mind, is gonna tell you you want to crave, you want to snack, you want to eat. You really don't want to eat. The liver is like, we can't take nothing else in, like we can't do it. And so it's like you need that time for the liver to just process the minerals, the nutrients, everything that is done. And that's why when you wake up in the morning, you have to go to the bathroom. You know what I'm saying? Because it's literally pulling out all of the, things from the foods that you ate, right? Or you might not be going to the bathroom. And if you're not, everybody should be going to the bathroom every day. And if you're not, right, that's an indication that something's off within your celiac. Right? So, yeah.
I think Daz is trying to unmute, but thank you for sharing that. One of the things that I noticed about us in New York, I've always felt that the reason why we're having such difficulties now, I'm 54, but I noticed that since my parents are from a Caribbean island, that we're just not meant to have our bodies here in an apartment, in a like working 9 to 5 in an office in a cubicle. So I'm ready to retire. So what are your thoughts about leaving, let's just say New York or in general, or do you believe that too? Like this is not where we're supposed to be?
Absolutely, because you just hit on another piece of nutrition. That's another piece of nutrition. And see, that's the body type, the blood type thing that I kind of try to factor in lifestyle. Culturally, we are sun people, right? And we've migrated and we're dropped off at different points and places throughout the globe. It is so important that you look at your family history, your family lineage, right? And you pay attention to environmental things that are unfolding, because these microbes that's in the air, all this stuff with COVID, they're like, I'm not going outside. I'm like, so you just gonna kill off all your good bacteria? You just gonna put that mask on and just kill? No, your body, we, especially as melanated people, we have to get out in the sun. I have a theory about like why we are vitamin D deficient, but you just touched on it. And that is because many of us came, and it's again part of epigenetics, it's in our DNA that we have to, we come from certain regions, and so we have to have that. There are certain foods that you need to have, right? And then we know that most Caribbean islands, most southern places, even most African places, right, were fed scraps and pieces of a meat, and but we turned that thing into like a whole meal. It was like, what? We got this dish called this and this. We spiced it up with some seasonings and herbs and things of that nature. But yes, I am leaving. To answer all of your question, I am leaving too. And I spoke to my good sis who's an expat, and I've been saying to her, I need you to help me, right? Set up something so that I can have a little something over, and and it's just a matter of like, oh, where am I gonna land? And I told her, I said, wherever I land, I have to be by the water, because I need the sun, right? You need those healthy biomes, right? I love Costa Rica too. So and Costa Rica doesn't have any standing wars. It's not like if I go to a country like that, which is, it's an island, but either way, I'm looking at the natural geobiomes of places to be, because my son, it's like maybe in the next 5-6 years, we out of here. My daughter, she'll be a grown person. She loves New York. She's probably not going anywhere. She hated Georgia and is happy to be back in New York City. She's a true New Yorker. Me, I am too. Because I'm happy to be back. However, my body needs warmth and water and nature. When I go into these kind of tropical places, and the sun does that, because the sun has all these phytonutrients and phytochemicals. So people go, why are you smiling so much? Because I'm happy, baby, because the sun food is feeding me. I feel good. I'm happy. And then in cold places, because
You
the
have
body,
working endorphins.
it does increase some endorphins, right? That's right, Miss Ruby. It really works with your neurotransmitters if you're melanated, right? If you're a melanated person. And cold regions don't work for
Yeah.
us. Yeah, right. Cold regions don't always work for us, because now I always say this. I told my dad, I said, Dad, I don't know how you and I are related, because like you leave the windows up during the wintertime. And so like maybe your hypothalamus,
Amen.
right? Something's wrong with your hypothalamus or something, because I don't know how you leaving these windows up in the wintertime and I'm cold, right? I said, maybe your people is from Nova Scotia on your side, right? Like the slaves, they ended up in Nova Scotia, Canada, like they could handle all that cold. But no, we are tropical people, and we need to be in areas that feed us, because the skin feeds the melanin. It feeds the cells that are in there. We have all these melanocytes that's in our skin, and people try to say, oh, black people can get cancer. I mean, I guess if that's, everybody, skin cancer, they say. I mean, if that's what you are open to and you believe that and you wholeheartedly feel like that's a thing for you, then I'm not going to take that away from you, because you get a chance to have your own point of view. I personally don't believe that. I think we need to be in the sun responsibly, of course, but we have to have that. That vitamin D feeds us, and it synthesizes with melatonin. It's in vitamin
Okay.
D3.
Okay. All right, my loves. I gotta bring this in because you're giving all the secrets away. I love it. I love it. Baby girl, you are blowing this away. I want to know where your book is. You got to have a book.
I
I
do.
gotta be able to take the course.
I have a book that's not been published yet, and I wrote. You know what's crazy, Miss Ruby,
Uh-huh.
is I wrote that book in 2011, and when I created the course Eating for Supreme Wellness, I said, "Oh my gosh, the book and the course are the same thing. They're the same thing." So now I have to go through a public.
Amen.
Yeah, I have to go through a whole publishing thing. I'm renaming the book. It was called Feeding the Chambers, and then I was bringing the correlation between the seven universal principles, the hermetic principles, and looking at the chakras in our body, like how each chakra is aligned to your health and your wellness and the spiritual principle. So the book now is going to be called Eating for Supreme Wellness, because that's really truly at the end of the day what it is. It's like, are you eating for what your body needs and your mind needs? Like, what do you need?
I need that now. I need that class like right now.
Well, listen, once we get going back with the website, I'm going to digitize that course. So this is where I need to be getting with Dazzle, because I'm like, it was virtual, it was online, and it was recorded. And so what I want to do now is just turn it completely digital. So like I said, we're going through a major revamp, because my physical capital, like body capital and time capital, are very important to me, and I value freedom, and
Exactly.
I don't want to always have to be the one leading the class. Eventually I would love to teach people the OFT method. I'd love to be like I said, kind of like train people. And you all, I'm turning my direction more now towards women, melanated women executives, and also melanated women and families who live in shelters. So I am going, I just finished this proposal. I was on a conundrums. She had a workshop yesterday that was fabulous. I love her. I follow her a lot. She's been so ahead of her time. And so I was on one of her workshops, and I was like, this is so in alignment, because I literally just finished a proposal for City Harvest, Food Bank, all these places, in Trader Joe's, Whole Foods, all these places, Snap, to have them sponsor me, pay some with food, some with money, right? Like pay for the workshops or a grant, find something. And I want my workshop to be a national adopted model, to show these women how to shop on a budget but be healthy. And we're using visualization. So I have these women visualizing themselves as being healthy. But first, we got to know what your
Hmm.
definition of healthy is. What do you think healthy is, right? And,
Exactly.
and then,
Exactly.
right, then I tell them all the stuff, right? But there's the meditative part of the visualization, and then there's the writing, because there really is something in writing and speaking it out, like, and sharing. So that's where we're
So
turning. So own wealth is
so
changing.
this is what's coming. And I'm telling you right now,
Okay.
we're doing a part two. We got to do a part two. We are at the top of our hour, and I
Okay.
am so mad. I'm like,
Sorry.
wait, we could just do two. This thing won't hold two. I'm mad. I'm mad. So, what I will do is I want to invite everyone who is here, who's listening, to please continue, because y'all let her know we need to do a part two up in here. We need to get a website. We need to get all the good. And people have been making requests from our listeners. You've had an amazing response to your subject and your information, and we give you so much praise for all the work that you've done. I can't wait to the work you do with me, girl.
Yes. Oh,
Because, honey, I'm looking forward to it.
thank you. Thank you all so much. I love what you all are doing. This is fabulous. And finances is in there too. We can also do a part 3 on, how the eating is connected to your finances, because all money is energy, is flow. So yeah, absolutely. And I would love it. Thank
Yes.
you all so
Yes.
much. To the viewers that's out there, the listeners, thank you all so much. We're just changing. We've been in business for 25 years. And so yeah, we are growing.
Can you share with us before you leave your Instagram? Some of the comments are asking where they can find you.
Yes. So I've been kind of slow on my page. If you guys notice, you'll go in there. There's some amazing content on eating underscore the word for underscore supreme underscore wellness. And that's me on Instagram. Eating underscore for underscore supreme underscore wellness. I have been working on the back end, getting myself, at another level, because we go through levels, right? So just getting myself at another level of mind, focus and discipline to really fine tune the message. But yes, go. You can follow me there. I've not been posting as many videos because of what's happening, like I said, on the back end with what I'm doing with the workshops. But by the way, yes. And in the personal world of nope. That's not it. That's my private page now, brother. You don't want to get that because that's a private page. I might not join everybody. I might be like, I don't want you on my personal page. But the eating underscore for, so eating underscore for underscore supreme underscore wellness is basically eating for supreme wellness, but there's an underscore, that part. Thank you, Salty, for dropping it in there. That is it. That's the business page. Follow me there. And Miss Ruby, Dazzle, Salty, y'all bring me back. I'll come back and I'll be on time.
Thank you. Don't you even worry about all that, girl. We get you
Appreciate
here. We got you back.
We love you.
And I'm so grateful.
I love you.
Yes, we love you, baby girl. So just so you know, we're gonna be grooming you to become part of the Black Girls Do Crypto organization because we need what you have.
Yes.
Priceless,
Yes.
priceless. And we love you. We thank you so much.
Thank you. And y'all need what they have
For
too.
everybody.
Get your monies out the bank. I was at the
That's
bank today.
right.
Get your money out the bank. Get your hard wallet and a soft wallet, but get that hard wallet too. Be your own banker and get some crypto. Get some good crypto. Follow Dazzle and Miss Ruby and Salty for all of that because they are experts in the game. Okay. Thank you all. Appreciate it.
blessings.
How do I?